You ever have one of those mornings where the sun hits the water just right, and for a second the whole world feels like it's on your side? Yeah. That was me, Ethan Brooks. 38. Divorced. No kids. Just me in the backyard pool my old man poured his soul into after Mom passed. Then the gate rattled like someone was trying to break in. And there she was, Patricia Patty Hargrove. Queen of Maple Grove HOA. Clipboard cocked like a loaded Glock. Flanked by her two little yes men in matching polo shirts. Mr. Brooks, she said. Voice syrupy enough to give you cavities. This pool is in violation of our updated setback ordinance. You've got 30 days to drain it. Or we start fining you into next year. I just stared at her. The same pool the county signed off on in 2008. The same pool Dad built brick by brick so his grandkids, kids I never got around to having, could learn to swim without some public pool full of screaming strangers. I opened my mouth to explain. But Patty was already turning away. Heels clicking like she'd just dropped a bomb and didn't care who got hit by the shrapnel. That was the moment I decided I wasn't gonna be the quiet guy anymore. I was gonna be the guy who made her regret ever knocking on my gate. The first letter showed up 3 days later, thick. Official. Smelling like fresh toner in pure spite. Non-compliant structure immediate remediation $250 daily fine after day 30. I read it twice. Then folded it neat and slid it into the folder I'd started calling Patty's Greatest Hits. I didn't yell. I didn't call. I just smiled at the paper like it was a love letter from the devil himself. Because here's the thing about people like Patty, they think silence means surrender. They don't realize some of us are just loading the clip. By week 2 the neighborhood newsletter hit mailboxes with my backyard splashed across page 3 under the headline Ongoing Violation, Your Safety Matters. They'd blurred the pool but left my barbecue grill in perfect focus. Like I was running some kind of illegal tiki bar for terrorists. Mrs. Delgado next door stopped waving when she took her dog out. Mr. Chin across the street suddenly found his hedges fascinating every time I pulled into the driveway. I could feel the whispers crawling over the fences like ivy. Patty wasn't done. Oh no. She was just getting warmed up. The third letter came with photos, my pool taken from 3 different angles. Timestamped like crime scene evidence. The fourth one threatened a lien. The fifth mentioned possible child endangerment because apparently a 6-foot privacy fence and a locked gate weren't enough to keep the imaginary toddlers from drowning in my perfectly maintained water. I sat at my kitchen table at 2 a.m. Highlighter in hand. Circling every typo. Every contradictory clause. Building my little paper fortress while the pool filter hummed outside like it was laughing at her. Then came the night I got home from work and found a bright orange HOA lock on my back gate. A laminated sign flapping in the breeze, access restricted pending compliance. I stood there in the dark for a solid minute. Key still in my hand. And I swear I heard my dad's voice in my head, don't let the small people make you small. Son. I cut the chain with bolt cutters I'd bought that afternoon just in case. Took pictures from every angle. Sent them to my cousin Rachel, the real estate attorney who eats HOAs for breakfast. Then I sat by the pool until sunrise. Feet in the water. Watching the sky turn pink and thinking about how Dad used to say rules were just suggestions written by people who were scared of their own shadows. Rachel showed up the next Saturday with a bottle of bourbon and a grin that could curdle milk. Cousin. You've been sitting on a gold mine of stupid, she said. Flipping through my folder. This woman's been forging county inspectors' signatures like she's running a Kinko's in hell. She pointed to an email Patty had sent my insurance company, complete with a scanned signature that belonged to Miguel Alvarez, the retired building inspector who used to play poker with Dad. Miguel was now living 2 streets over and still had the original inspection forms in his garage. Rachel's eyes lit up like Christmas. We're not just fighting this. We're gonna make her famous. I didn't want fame. I wanted my damn pool. The HOA emergency meeting was scheduled for the following Thursday. Patty sent out a mass email titled "Protecting Our Community Values" that somehow forgot to include me on the list. I showed up anyway. Walked into that stuffy clubhouse smelling of burnt coffee and fierce sweat. And every head turned like I'd just tracked dog shit across their precious carpet. Patty was at the head table in her signature red blazer. Gavel polished to a murderous shine. She spotted me and her smile went tight enough to crack foundation. "Mr. Brooks," she cooed into the mic. "We weren't expecting you. This is a closed session." "Funny," I said. "Loud enough for the back row." "Because the bylaws you love so much say any homeowner can attend." Page 12. Paragraph 3. I highlighted it for you. A couple people actually chuckled. Patty's left eye twitched. She launched into her greatest hits: safety, property values, the children, while I sat there calm as Sunday morning. When she finally ran out of oxygen, I stood up, walked to the front, and laid down the 2008 county approval letter. The one with the judge's raised seal and everything. "This pool predates your entire HOA by 4 years, I said. "It was grandfathered in. You know that. You just don't like it." Patty snatched the paper like it was on fire. "This is ancient history. The board has voted. The rules have changed." "Rules changed," I repeated, tasting the words. "That's cute. So has the statute of limitations on fraud." The room got real quiet. That's when Rachel walked in with Judge Harriet Monroe, retired. 78. Still wearing the same no bullshit expression that used to make lawyers cry in her courtroom. The same judge who'd signed off on Dad's pool after the original neighbor dispute back in '08. Patty's face did something I'll remember until I die. It was like watching a balloon animal realize it was about to pop. "Your Honor," Patty squeaked. "Madam President," Judge Monroe said, voice cutting through the room like a scalpel. "I believe you've been operating under the mistaken impression that your little clubhouse constitution supersedes county law. Allow me to correct that." She pulled out the original transcript. "Read the relevant sections out loud." Then Rachel dropped the forged emails, the doctored photos, the chain link incident, the whole damn rap sheet. Every time Patty tried to interrupt, Judge Monroe just looked at her over her glasses until she shut up. By the time Rachel played the audio of Patty on a recorded call telling her assistant, "Just make it go away," I don't care how, half the room was filming on their phones. Patty stood there clutching her gavel like a life raft. Lipstick smeared. Mascara starting to run. This is a witch hunt." "Nah," I said, finally letting the smile I'd been holding back for months stretch across my face. "This is Tuesday." The board meeting ended in chaos. People who'd been scared of her for years suddenly found their spines. Someone actually started slow clapping. Patty stormed out the side door so fast her blazer flapped like a wounded bird. 3 weeks later we were in actual court, real one. With a real judge who didn't wear polos to work. Patty showed up in a new power suit. Hair shellacked into submission. Lawyer looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. She still thought she could charm her way out. Kept calling me that man like I was some kind of squatter. Then Judge Monroe took the stand. Then Miguel testified about his forged signature. Then the county IT guy showed up with server logs proving every nasty email came from Patty's personal laptop at 11:47 p.m. On nights she claimed to be at book club. I watched her shrink in real time. The woman who'd spent years making grown adults cry over fence height was now picking at her cuticles while a judge listed her crimes like a grocery list. The verdict took 12 minutes. $92,000 in fines against the HOA. Full reimbursement of my legal fees. Permanent injunction against any future harassment. And Patty? Personally liable for defamation and fraud. Barred from ever serving on another HOA board in the state. She didn't even wait for the gavel. Just grabbed her purse and walked out like the building was on fire. The best part? The very next weekend the new interim board, elected by actual humans, voted to dissolve every single fine they'd ever issued under Patty's reign. Including the ones on Mrs. Delgado's offensive garden gnomes and Mr. Chen's non-approved solar panels. My pool is still there. Bigger than ever. Because I finally added the waterfall feature Dad always wanted but never got around to. Kids from the whole street come over after school now. Mrs. Delgado brings over her famous flan. Mr. Chen taught me how to grill Korean short ribs. The gate stays open most afternoons. Sometimes I catch Patty's old house when I'm driving by, for sale sign still up. Grass getting a little long. Last I heard she moved to some retirement community in Arizona where the average age is 90 and they don't allow swimming pools at all. Poetic. Really. My dad used to say the only thing more dangerous than a bully is a bully who thinks they're doing God's work. He was right. But he also said the best revenge is living well in the exact spot they tried to take from you. So every night when the sun goes down and the pool lights kick on, I raise a glass to the man who built this thing with nothing but stubbornness and love. And I raise another to Patty. Wherever she is. Probably measuring someone else's lawn with a ruler and wondering where it all went wrong. Here's the question I want you to sit with tonight. When the rules stop protecting people and start punishing them, who's really the criminal? The guy quietly enjoying his backyard? Or the woman who turned community standards into her own personal reign of terror? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you've got your own HOA horror story, hit me with it. Because trust me, yours probably isn't the craziest one out there. Until next time. Keep your pools full. Your fences high. And your middle finger ready.